Hi, friends. In this video, we're figuring out where public safety in Poland is heading. Why is a young Ukrainian beaten up in Gdansk for speaking his native language, and in Warsaw, a repeat offender knocks out a tourist just for smiling? We're connecting this street lawlessness with the high-profile statement from the Polish Pen Club about the growing wave of xenophobia, in sunny Poland, of course. Let's figure it out now. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Friends, thank you so much for your support. To everyone who takes just 2 seconds for these simple actions, thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Well, let's get down to business. Reports from Gdansk tell of a particularly nasty incident. On June 14th, there was an outrageous scene there. An adult woman, as you can imagine, not a citizen of Ukraine, attacked a young Ukrainian, a 14-year-old teenager. And it would be one thing if there was some personal reason, like he was rude to her or took, I don't know, her son's phone. But no, the whole issue turned out to be that the guy, and what nerve, just think about it, was speaking Ukrainian with his friends. Didn't he know you should speak Polish in Poland? Let's go through this situation fact by fact. All right, let's try to do it without unnecessary emotions. According to the victim's relatives and news reports, the woman first approached and bluntly demanded that they stop speaking Ukrainian. The guy didn't know her, he didn't get into a political argument, but that didn't stop the woman. She went from words to action. She hit the guy on the head several times, knocked him to the ground, and started kicking him. This chaos was only stopped thanks to the intervention of a random passerby who saw what was happening and was horrified. What's going on? As a result, the guy with the head injury had to be hospitalized. The family's lawyer rightly points out that the motive here seems pretty clear, right? Let's piece it together slowly. 2 + 2, xenophobia and ethnically motivated aggression. This has never happened before, right? And here we go again. The Gdansk police accepted the report and thankfully the process has started. Right now, law enforcement is thoroughly checking the surveillance camera footage from the area of the incident to identify this woman. What can we conclude, friends? The conclusion is simple, in my opinion. All Polish women are bad. They're all complete idiots. No, of course not. Chauvinism and stupidity. These are universal phenomena. Let's hope the local justice system does its job and the woman who hits children is punished to the fullest extent of the law. We're following the developments, friends. And at the same time, I believe we need to establish a fundamental, rock-solid legal and moral fact. Even if, in theory, we assume that some teenager said something to someone, right? Maybe he did something wrong. No matter what mood you're in, you, as an adult, have no right to lay your hands on or touch someone else's child. There are legal institutions for resolving any conflicts, especially those involving minors. They work in Poland, the police, the school, and in the end, the parents. Comment below, friends, if I'm wrong and this doesn't work in Poland. But when an adult woman resorts to physical violence against a teenager, that's not discipline or a way of making a point. That's a criminal act and a sign of depravity. Write in the comments that you don't understand anything. Poles in Poland can do whatever they want. Yes, then I'll tell you this. Whoever writes that, I'll tell you this. Well, if Poles are in Poland, then a Pole has the right to smash a bottle over your child's head, probably, right? And he's in Poland, so he's allowed to. He can force you onto that bottle, since that's how it is. He's allowed. He's a Pole. By the way, where's my Polish passport? I'll show you. Next. This is not the end of the story, friends. Let's continue. This is already a capital city chronicle. They are also reporting from Warsaw about an incident of a wild and absurd nature. In one of the trams near Unii Lubelskie Square, a man carried out an assault. The man is 31 years old. He attacked a tourist from the United States of America. And do you know what triggered it? The attacker simply didn't like that the foreigner and his group got on the tram. And who even allowed them to do that? They were in a good mood, joking and smiling. That's how it is. Can you imagine? You're in Poland, damn it. Who allowed you? Who gave you the right to joke and smile? Yes, the mechanics of the process are extremely tough. I don't know if YouTube will allow the video or not, but we'll try. The attacker approached the American, 37 years old, and just hit him in the head. The blows were so forceful that the US citizen instantly lost consciousness, collapsed to the floor, and as he fell, he unfortunately injured his shoulder. The most remarkable thing in this story is the behavior of the aggressor after what he did. The man didn't run away, didn't panic. Oh my God, what have I done? I need to hide somewhere, cover my face, run away, hide my face, and escape somewhere. No. With an absolutely calm look, like, I'm Polish, I'm in Poland, what's the problem? He sat down on the next seat next to the unconscious person and calmly went on with his business. I don't know what this is or what to call this kind of audacity, that's it. The victim received help, medics and police were eventually called. Yes, when the investigators took up the case and released footage from the surveillance cameras, they identified the person pretty quickly. He was detained on Monday morning, and here's the surprise. The man turned out to be an old acquaintance of the local law enforcement. His extensive record already included theft, break-ins, and drug possession. Yes, I'm still 39 years old, I'll be 40 in a month, and I don't even know where to buy drugs, but I'm not interested in that, not interested. So, what we have here is a classic case. Let's get back to this comrade, an antisocial lowlife who thinks the law doesn't apply to him. And here you might say, friends, Gdansk, so what? This happens every day. Yes, unfortunately it happens every day, but that's not the end of the story. We'll tie these two threads into one clear knot. So, we've looked at two cases. In Gdansk, an adult woman beats up a 14-year-old boy for speaking Ukrainian, and in Warsaw, a criminal knocks out an American tourist just because he was smiling. Yeah, they dislike people who smile a lot. And here, any observer has a legitimate question. What is actually going on here? Are these random deviations or a systemic failure in the social atmosphere? The answer, my friends, is given to us by the Fresh from the 17th of Jerka, in Russian, that's June, official statement of the Polish Pen Club. What is that? Intellectuals and writers are raising the alarm. I'm stating directly, a dangerous wave of aggression and nationalist hysteria is growing in the country. In the Pen Club, they reasonably note that physical violence in the streets doesn't just appear out of nowhere, it's always preceded by brainwashing. And now we see how certain political forces, for the sake of election ratings or maybe for money or maybe both, are simply rocking the boat. So, in the press and on social media, there's been a campaign against officials because of their national origins. Yes, we've talked about this. Pen Club directly compares this to the worst practices of totalitarian regimes and the purges of the Polish People's Republic era, for example, Operation Vistula or the events of March 1968. And so, friends, we ourselves see all this disinformation because myths are persistently broadcast to citizens, especially those who are not very aware. That's it. That state funds, money, your taxes are not going where they should, artificially creating an atmosphere of scarcity and envy. Well, of course what? These Ukrainians get everything. They get apartments for free, free Lamborghinis, Ferraris, everything is free for them, while we sit here riding the tram, and it's not even safe on the tram. And as a result of this dirty wave from the internet and political platforms, everyday xenophobia materializes on the streets. First, they talk about these foreigners on TikTok, and then some woman with free citizenship goes and beats up someone else's child in Gdansk because she's completely lost her sense of boundaries and any sense of humanity. A criminal in Warsaw, feeling the general atmosphere of impunity, attacks passers-by. Well, what? I'm just this, a civilian patrol. Why is he smiling? Who allowed him? Did I allow him? No, I didn't. Where does this path lead? The authors note that at the conflict's start, Poland showed great solidarity by accepting 1 million refugees, setting a humanitarian example for the world. Everyone followed the old geopolitical doctrine, no free Poland without a free Ukraine. And today, under the pressure of far-right discourse, this historical legacy is rapidly being squandered. Moreover, the bureaucratic machine is also starting to give in. Aid programs are being rolled back. Unnecessary anxiety is being stirred up. And yes, there are a large number of Ukrainian children in Polish schools, yes. So what now? Should I deport them to the front? So what's the conclusion from all this? The conclusion is simple. Any unpunished aggression, whether it's verbal abuse in the media or street beatings, first and foremost destroys Polish society from within. Well, look, I left right, but the comments are still there. You should get your ass to the front. It's unclear whether these are bots or just, well, maybe it's just that a person has nothing to say except for hate. All right, I'm in Calabria. Has life become easier for you? Is there more money in your account now? Do you have more fresh air outside now? But we're getting back to the topic. When the boundaries of the law are replaced by the right of the strong or the right of those with the correct passport, everyone remains in danger. It turns out that both the migrant, the American tourist, and even the local resident who just happened to cross paths with a tram hooligan are all at risk. Intellectuals urge authorities and society to act and activate safeguards before the situation becomes irreversible. Write in the comments what you think. Has Poland reached the point of no return, or is it already over? Or is it that everything is lost, or that society is poisoned? And again, I'm not speaking for the whole society. Look, I'm talking about this frenzy because the overwhelming majority of Poles are still reasonable, intelligent, good people. They understand, they can tell good from evil, but they don't recommend me. Some aggressive minority, unfortunately, which is only growing. It's just some, how should I put it? Yeah, that... In short, idiots who are not on the same path as us. Okay, sorry for my language. Let's get back to tarot. You hit the like button, leave comments, write the city where you watched from. It doesn't matter what kind of comment, just write something because we need to promote the videos on YouTube. Reminder, TransferGo is the top money transfer service. Find the link and my promo code in the description. Oh, the tea is good, but beer tastes better. That's all for now. See you next time.